You know how I notice a lot of people who they say they stand for Palestine.
Mm, sure.
Um, they actually we are claiming that a lot of them don't actually stand for Palestine.
Mm,
Standing for Palestine has now become a dog whistle for I stand for genocide
mm,
of Jewish people,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
And it's so sad that the word Palestine is now being used such a way because it's so many people who support Israel who also support Palestine, right?
mm,
It's a one reason why we are anti-Hamas is because Hamas does not want a Palestinian
right.
state. Okay, we want for a lot of us who support their Israel's right to be a country and to defend itself. We wish for one day to be a Palestinian country. There is no Palestinian country right now, but we want Palestine to eventually become a nation state as well. And
Mhm,
we actually stand for Palestine, and that's why we're also against Netanyahu because he sabotage. He came up with a lot of
mhm,
tricks, and all these other right
mhm,
leaning parties in Israel stopped Palestine from being a country. But as somebody who wants there to be a Palestine and for Gaza to become free from Hamas one day, it's so sad that the flag of Palestine and the name Palestine is now among many people is actually pro Hamas. It's
mm,
a symbol of Hamas and what they represent and what they want to do,
mhm,
right? And we see that everywhere. We see that everywhere, especially with the hours after the attacks on Israel, well, so many innocent people were killed. People changed their flags to Palestine.
mhm, mhm.
What? That's not pro-Palestine. This was even before Israel responded. This
Right,
was before Israel started attacking Gaza.
right.
Just right after the attack of Hamas on Israel,
Yeah,
you saw people putting Palestinian flags up.
yeah,
If this is not a symbol of support for the attack on innocent civilians, I don't know what is.
yeah, yeah. I
And
think there
so,
are some people
yeah,
who maybe didn't have a full understanding of the situation. I always wanna try to be charitable, I'm
mm,
sure there are some people that just accidentally got caught up in things, but no, I would completely agree. I think
right,
within the 24 hours after the attack by Hamas, you posting images and tweets saying, "I stand with Palestine," it's kinda hard to argue that you're saying you stand with anything but that attack, but those tactics.
yeah.
So I don't know.
Let's say, for example, today North Korea attacks
Mhm.
South Korea,
Sure.
right? Do we care for the North Korean people and want them to have better lives?
Of course.
Yes, right? Are we against North Koreans? No. But if North Korea attacks South Korea and you change your flag to North Korea, and you're like, well, hey, I am, I
Uh-huh.
support North Korean people. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm not against. I'm
Uh-huh.
not. We know. Like you're supporting the attack. You're obviously supporting the attack.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Just to demonstrate
Mm.
what I'm what we're trying to say here, I have something to show you which pretty much captures what we're trying to address here. So, yeah, so look at this. This
Yeah,
is
I
a
saw
tweet
this.
posted. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, this is a tweet posted by BLM Chicago, and
Mhm.
under the tweet, there's an image, and on the image, there's a text that says, I stand with Palestine.
Mm,
But what's in the image?
mm,
This perfectly demonstrates what they mean by Palestine here, unfortunately, because you have a paraglider representing the Hamas terrorists that came down on the music festival with all those people dancing and being happy, and many of them peace activists
mm.
fighting for the
Better
rights of
life, yeah.
Palestinians,
Huh,
better
weird.
life for Palestinians.
Weird.
Yeah. So gunned down and killed 260 of them. Last time
Mhm,
I've heard that was the number by these paragliders. These are Hamas paragliders. Okay.
mhm.
The person in this image, the Hamas soldier, is somebody who doesn't even believe in Palestine
Yeah.
because they don't want a Palestinian state. They want all of it. They want to completely destroy Israel as a state, take everything, kill every Jew, and they don't care about the Palestinian state or the Palestinian people. And look, when BLM Chicago is celebrating Palestine with that image, Now you know what they mean by Palestine. They don't actually mean Palestine. They are standing with terrorism. They're standing with genocide. They're standing with massacring innocent civilians. That's what they stand for. And it's
Yeah.
so unfortunate that we're seeing this not by just many Muslims around the world, by so many so-called progressive leftists.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's a shame how the word progressive is now being, when people say progressive, these takes are what people remember. Like,
Yeah.
they have destroyed the meaning of words, a lot of
Yeah.
these leftist people. Like, how could you be any more regressive than this? I
I
don't know. What do you think?
I
Yeah.
I just think it's gross. And that was the initial
Mm,
thought that I had when I first saw this. Um I just think it's fucking gross. And I'm not really sure.
mm,
I'm not really sure what we should do.
mm,
I think holding BLM Chicago accountable for this take and asking for a full unrestricted apology. Because again, what are you asking for here? What are you asking for as an organization when you post this image after the
mm,
events that we know happened? You could have picked anything else. You could have picked any image whatsoever. You could have picked a map of Palestine. You could have picked an image of a Palestinian child.
mm,
You could have chosen anything. And what you chose was a direct representation of the way that Hamas chose to slaughter people indiscriminately for a genocidal and bigoted, destructive ideology. That's what you chose. That's not a mistake. I'm sorry. That's not a we gave our Twitter credentials to an intern who posted something without our knowledge. This was
no.
thought about. They had to have thought
Yeah.
about this. You think
No, they can.
they just
They
pulled this
doubled down.
image?
They can.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Mm,
It's
mm,
ridiculous. And I absolutely think that, when years have passed and dust has, I think Susanna said this on the last news with Atheist Republic. And I totally agree. When years go by and agreements are made and treaties are written and so forth, and whatever the result of this, I don't think we should forget the individuals who chose to take this stance, the individuals and organizations who decided to say, no, I think the right thing to do is side with the literal murderers, the people who outright indiscriminately shot closed porta potties because
mm.
they didn't care who was inside. I just think it is disgusting that was posted. Um, yeah,
Perfect.
you've stumped me on all of these today so far, man. I am it because it is just people are having such
Yeah.
atrocious takes, and I don't know how you can double down on no. The right thing to do is post an image of a paraglider who recently, a good handful
Mm,
of them just went and invaded a place of peace. It was a festival. They were at a festival, you guys. Like
mm.
it's very frustrating. It's very disgusting. Um, yeah, I think if you are supporting Chicago BLM, I would say you shouldn't be anymore, unless you agree with that stance. If you agree with that stance, then do your conscience. But